All right, hey there. Let me see. Make sure you guys can hear me. Let me see. Do I have this set up? Yes, I do. I have it right. Hey there, everybody. Christopher Inks with Texas West Capital. Coming at you live here a few minutes after 11 a.m. Central Standard Time on Friday, the 12th of May, 2023. Great to have y'all here. Man, oh man, what a week, right? So, Pepe did its thing and it hit that target I had and then just kind of fell off, right? But we may have found some support, so we'll have to maybe take a look at that here today. I think maybe we'll take a look at a couple of charts I was looking at on our show on Wednesday, my show with Scott Melker. Let me see here. We've got Bitcoin. We'll take a look at that. We got the pullback. We've hit the bull flag support. Is that going to be enough, or are we actually get the 25 everybody's been waiting for? We'll see. What else we got going on? The dollar's the DXY is rallying a bit today. So that's always fun, right? Man, what else going on, guys? Got that. We got Elon. Everybody's up in a tizzy about his new CEO. Everybody was in a tizzy about him being CEO. Now they're in a tizzy because he's got this other CEO now. Hey there, Brian. You think you should call the show with Scott Long Money? Maybe. We'll talk about it. We'll see what it is. I think we're still kind of figuring all that out. Hey, Andrew, I see you there. Hank, Aeroquin. Who else is here? Martin, what's going on, my friend? Nevlusian's here. Of course, Brian Riley's here. Data's here. Good to see you guys showing up. Real quick, guys. Don't forget, I've got this little banner going across the bottom here. You'll see we do have, we've got the new site, the new membership site up there at texaswest.capital. It's not a .com, it's .capital, okay? And you can use that code there, Elite CDMM, right there. And what that actually will do, we're testing out because this new platform actually has this automated Discord gatekeeping access that we used to have before our bot died off. And so now I found this platform. It works pretty well. It seems to be working pretty well so far. So I put out a limited number of these coupons to go out there. Anybody that want to jump on there, get in to tier 3 for, usually it's $199 a month. You'll get it for $50 a month for the first 3 months. Each month it'll just renew at $50 for the first 3 months. You can cancel at any time. If you only want to do it 1 month, just do it 1 month. But the idea is to get you guys in there to help me make sure that all the issues, or if there are any, are taken care of with that automated Discord access system. So, we've actually still got a few of them left. Not many, but just a few. But if you want to jump it on there and check us out. By the way, we've got some new things happening with Texas West Capital as well. One of them is that when you're in that tier 3, that elite tier there, you're going to actually get forever access to our Traders Foundation course and our Traders Elliott Wave and Wyckoff introduction courses. So, on top of everything else we have there, you'll actually get that forever. So even if you just came in for 1 month, did it, you'd have that complete access. So hopefully, everything will work fine here with it. Like I said, we've had some people join up already. Haven't had an issue yet, so figure we'll let these run out. Hey, Scott Webb, good to see you, man. Good to see you jumping in. Let me see here. What else? Man, we've got on the 15th of this month, guys. It's coming up already. 3 more days. So that's Monday. The next course in our master course series is going to be released. It's moving averages. And I know a lot of people that go, oh, man, no, why would I pay for that? Because you're going to see things in there that you're not seeing anywhere else. That's the thing. It's kind of like with the pivots course, right? So you get an in-depth understanding of what it is, and then you get all these different strategies that just aren't being taught anywhere else. You're going to find out how to really use moving averages rather than just the little let's put it this way, guys. When you find information online, most of the information you'll find online, let's say there's this iceberg of information. Okay. Oh, I guess iceberg of information, whatever, like this, right? Where you're above the water, right there, the very glossy stuff. That's what you get online usually. The stuff that we tend to put out is all that stuff underneath the water. It's where the big, where the big part of the glacier is, where the iceberg is. So why would you do it? That's why. But like we did with the pivots course, we're going to actually probably, yeah, okay, I'll do it this weekend. At some point, I'm going to release a limited, a very short time kind of sale. You can jump in there, get it for 90 somewhat percent off, and then once it goes live on Monday, it'll be full price. So we can do that. We'll also go ahead and and put out a deal for the bundles course. Remember, that's one of these courses every month for 12 months plus 2 bonus courses, right? One of those bonus courses is Fibonacci Master Course by Mr. Fiboswani himself. And the other one is a Hearst Cycles Master Course, which I'm going to add in there on top of the other 12. So you're getting 14 master courses there in the bundle. And of course, that's going to be a big discount from overall price there. So anyway, lots of stuff going on there, guys. How are y'all doing today? You're kind of quiet. You guys making any money? You freaking out? What's going on? Hopefully you're not freaking out, guys. Let's go ahead and jump in here. I guess we'll jump in here with Bitcoin first. Where's my Bitcoin chart? There we go. All right. So let me kind of zoom this in here. Let's see. Here we go. Let's kind of zoom this in a bit. I know some of you guys are on your phones. Stop watching stuff on your phones. Anyway, so I mean, if you take everything out of it, this remains kind of the thing we're looking at here. This potential bull flag, this weekly support. Yes, we've dipped down support. This is the weekly, though. Obviously, we can wick back up above it, and it would still hold as support, right? Oh, there's Fiboswani. What's going on, man? He says, not freaking out, followed system, and everything isn't okay. Exactly. That's the way it should be, guys. But, this is something that, if you're a newer trader, most of you haven't figured out yet, is this idea that it's the system over the individual trade. Many of you guys, you'll even tell me, yeah, I get it. And then you'll talk about the profit on a trade. Stop worrying about the profit on a trade, guys. If you get your system down, the profits come. Don't have to worry about it. If you're worrying about the profit on each trade, you're more than likely going to get wrecked. You're going to lose money. And it doesn't mean it happens every time, but most of the time you're going to lose money. Overall, going to keep on going down there, right? Let me see here. John Cross says, not freaking, as Data said, take profit. I still have that issue. Still need to figure out the system. Yeah. But the good thing is, guys, these things I talk about here, they're things you can do. They really are. The only thing that's going to keep you from being a consistently profitable trader is just your lack of really doing the things you need to do. I mean, that's really all it is, guys. It really is completely you. It's not that you can't do it. It's that you won't do it or that you haven't done it yet, right? There's those things you have to do to be consistently profitable as a trader, which means proper risk management every single trade. That means not letting that emotion come in there, right? And these are difficult things at first, especially if you go, man, but if I take a loss, I'm going to take a loss. And it takes you a while of going through that before you go, okay, well, here I was. Here's what most people do, right? You go long, like let's say here, right? And you'll keep looking higher and higher and higher, and you won't lock in any profit, right? And then what happens? It comes back against you and knocks you out for a loss. So not only did you not lock in any profit, but you took a loss. And you're going to do this over and over and over again. Tell me if you guys have done that. I know you have. You're going to lie if you say you haven't. I know you have. Everybody goes through this, okay? And because they're scared to take a loss, right? And they're scared of missing out on higher. But here's the thing. If you lock in profit at some point along the way there, right? And then you move your stop loss up to break even, you won't take losses as long as you hit that first profit target. So you can take like 50% at your initial profit and let the rest ride. And guess what happens? One of two things will happen. One, it'll keep going up and you can take more profit. Two, it'll come back against you, hit your break even, and you won't take a loss there. And on top of that, you'll lock in profit. Now, the thing about this is, as you continue to do this, your count's going to go like this versus what it is right now, which is doing this. But y'all are scared to take partials. You're scared to take profits. You're scared to use proper risk management. You're scared to take a loss. Guys, this is a business. Start treating trading like a business. If you can treat it like a business, you're a lot more likely to get a lot further, a lot more out of it, okay? Let me see here. Let me catch up with you guys here. Is it Augustin Alvarez? Is that how I say it? I hope I got that right. Revenge trading, over trading. Yes. Trying to be in a trader all the time instead of waiting. Man, exactly. Those are the things that pretty much every, I use the terms amateur or novice. And people get upset. They're like, oh, think I'm talking down to them. No, I'm just saying, listen, that's just the level you're at, right? And when you're at that level, those are the exact same things everybody does. They do it, right? And so as long as you're doing that, you're not going to get where you want to go. It really is as simple as that, guys. And it's not that you can't not do that. Double negative there, right? It's not that you can't not do that. It's just most people have chosen, even if they don't recognize it, out there, they've just chosen not to do it. But the good thing is that you can recognize that you've chosen not to do that and then make a change and do the things you have to do, right? But that's why we talk about systems and processes. If you turn trading into a system, a mechanical system, and then you just trust in the process, you got to trust in the process. You got to do it. Don't mess with things after they're set. If you do that, you're on your way to getting to the point you need to get to. But as long as you don't have a system, as long as every trade is separate and something different, you're going to have a lot of trouble. First of all, to make a profit. Second of all, to keep the profit. Okay, this is the realities, guys. This is the big stuff. Elijah, what's going on, man? Yes, you did that and it sucks too. Do I teach them compounding profits? Yeah, so we're moving into all this. Like I said, with the new way that we're doing the tiers now, we're actually going to be adding in the compounding profits and the partial profits, taking that in there. Because the way I've always done this, because I've been real hesitant to say, listen, guys, there's only one way to do it and whatever, because everybody kind of learns differently. But what I found is a lot of people end up kind of just floundering around with that if they don't have any real clear direction. So we're actually going to give it real clear direction now with tier 3 there as we get this changeover. So we're going to give you step-by-step. Here's what you're doing along the way, not just at the beginning. And then if you want to stick more with one system than another, you can do that. But we're going to get in there and teach it, get people in there like that. Augustin, it was perfect. You're from Buenos Aires? Nice, man. Nice. Just like Justin. Awesome. Great. Fiboswani says, I'm getting the question, is 48K by end of June still in play? Your thoughts? Well, what are your thoughts, Fibbo? Good morning there, Frank. Good to see you. Augustin says, do you move the stop loss to break even at what point of the trade in general? Yeah, so basically it just depends, right? So not all trades are the same, but you can treat them the same way. Now, what that means is usually, for instance, let's say you go into a trade. If it's a proper entry and a proper stop loss, you can look for like, say, 1.5 or 2R on the trade, okay? And so you put your first stop loss there. Or not your first stop, I'm sorry, you take your first profit there. And then you'd put your stop loss up to break even and you let the rest of it ride to a higher target. Now, there's lots of different ways you can do that, and we discuss them all the time in that tier 3 and that elite tier we've got. Matter of fact, I think I've taught like 40 or 50 different trading systems over the last couple of years that are all archived in there. If you guys come into tier 3, take advantage of this special, get it for $50, even if you just do it for 1 month. There's no way you're going to go through everything we have, but you can get through a lot of it and get a lot of your basics and even some advanced stuff down. But like I said, we've traded, I think I've taught like 40 or 50 different systems, how to enter when prices is rallying like this and is in a strong trend, all different things like that. So yeah, it's a good thing to have, in your toolboxes. How do you get in, right? Everybody thinks there's only one way to do things. But you start off with one as a new trader, and as you get that down, then you can start looking at additional things that you can add to it. Let me see here. Let's see here. Fiboswani says 49,000 is still alive on his stuff, but the probability has dropped, of course. Might have put timing out a few months, so a tad tougher. I don't know, man. I think I mean, yeah, it's for me the target's still potentially up there with this pullback and the fact that it's been, this has been, how long here we've been pulling back. Well, we've been going sideways here, guys. Almost 2 months here. Since basically into this month here. So we've been going sideways for 2 months now, and we haven't really moved a whole lot. I mean, this is all we've gotten, guys. This is all we've gotten, and so I think there's a good chance we could have another significant rally like this coming up here that takes us up into those 40s. I'm not saying it has to happen, but I think there's a good chance that we could see it. It's been consistently happening through here. The way I see it, we've got a 1, 2, 1, and then A, B, C as a flat, what I've been talking about. So for me, we're looking at a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of a 1, 2, 3. And then we have 4 and 5 still to go. Now, that isn't the only possible count, but for right now, it hasn't been invalidated. So I'm going to continue sticking with it. And basically, it just makes this a large reaccumulation area here. That's all it does. So we're going to see what happens there. Let me see here. Do you remember when you started being profitable, like when trading clicked on you? Yeah, my story. I guess you're new to the channel here. I've told my story a few times. I started back in 95 and lost a lot of money the first few years. I finally sat down and decided, like right there around 99 or so, that I was gonna. I did it because as a teenager, as I was getting to an adult, I knew I didn't want to work for anybody. And so 2 ways to do that: you create businesses and you trade, right? And so I've done both, but after giving away like tons of stupid money to the market for the first few years, I finally it's that point where you sit down with yourself and it hits you and you go, okay, at this point, listen, I got to do something different. If I keep doing the same thing I'm doing, I'm going to keep getting the same results that I get. And I didn't want to keep getting the same results. I wanted to be profitable as a trader. So it was really at that point, it was like an aha moment. It just hit me just like that, right? And I decided, you know what? If I'm going to be serious about this, I need to get serious about it. I need to be honest with myself. I was saying I was doing the things that I needed to do, but I wasn't really. It was all word of mouth, right? I've talked about this a lot lately. Hopefully people are listening because we go through this, right? And you sit there, and not just in trading, but in life, and you say, yeah, I'm doing the things I need to do. I've got, I want to be successful in life. I want my relationship to be successful. I'm doing the things I have to do. But you're just saying, if you look back to it, no, I really don't want to do that today because I'm tired, or, I'm busy, or, I want to cut shortcuts, and that's exactly what you end up doing. So you say it sounds good, and you believe it, you're lying to yourself. But if you really sit down with yourself, you go, oh man, okay, no. So for me, it was like about 3 or 4 years of just floundering around and losing money. And I finally decided I want to do it. So I figured in order to do that, I had to become a student of the market. And at that point, I started learning every single possible thing I could learn. Every system I could find, everything I could learn, which is why when I talk to you guys, I'm often jumping back between Elliott Wave and Wyckoff and pivots and price action and all these things, because they're all, I have learned them throughout the years. And I just kind of, for me, trading, I've kind of melded them all together in a certain way that works for me. But yeah, I'm no different than you guys out there, right? I'm no different. That's why I can sit here and say you can do this. But it's, will you do it? That's the thing. I can't force you to do it. I can't force you to sit back and be brutally honest with yourself. It's hard for us to do as human beings. We don't want to be wrong. We don't want to admit that we're making mistakes. But if you don't admit that, if you don't figure it out, then you can't fix it. And if you can't fix it, what the hell, right? Stop throwing money in the market, because people like myself, people like Hank, people like Fibbo, we're gonna take your money. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't have a problem doing it. It's a market. You're coming into a market. You're expected to understand what you're doing here, period, end of sentence. The market does not care about my feelings, doesn't care about your feelings. Okay? Now, I would love for you to be profitable and become one of us that's out there taking other people's money, because other people refuse to learn and to do the things they need to do. But, at the end of the day, it's ultimately up to you as the trader to decide. right? So I hope that makes sense, guys. Okay. Um, and so, at the end of the day, it all begins and ends with with proper risk management. If you can't do that right, or you refuse to do that, or you refuse to be consistent with that, don't even think about getting wealthy as a trader, or increasing your capital account or anything. It's not going to happen. Stop listening to idiots out there who say, "Oh, I don't use a stop loss." Remember Caroline from FTX or Almeida? Yeah, remember that little interview thing? She go, "Well, we don't use stop losses." Remember how they were $1.2 billion in the hole in May of 2022? Yeah, it's stupid. It's stupid. So the big takeaway here, guys, is you have to figure it out, and you have to be honest with yourself that you're not doing what you probably need to do to be successful in trading. And the other thing is using proper risk management. I mean, if you can do those two things, at least you've got the base to become successful. Without those two things, you can't. You just can't do it, guys. You can't, okay? You got to know me through Scott Milker. The way you explain and talk, it's clicking for me for some reason. Really appreciate it. Oh, man. See, I love to hear this. Guys, I tell you all the time, I don't do this because I'm some great altruistic person. That stuff right there, that makes me feel good. My self-worth goes up when I read stuff like that. And I get that a lot. And that's exciting for me. That's why I do this, right? Because for me, it makes me feel good. And thankfully, y'all don't mind that because you get the benefit of it, right? So anyway, Hank says, I never take anybody's money except anybody on the other side of the trade, right? Fiboswani says, if you ante up, what did you say here? If you ante up, you have to know you are at risk. Yeah. Again, guys, remember, as traders, you're what we call speculators. That is the term. That's what you are. Trader sounds so much nicer. Speculator sounds, speculation, though, means that you're guaranteed to have risk. There is no lack of risk in it. You're going to have risk. You have to you have to take chances. The question is, are you taking smart chances, or are you taking really, really bad chances? Okay. What'd you see here? Agree, you explain well and starting to click like you say. Need to make a change to HQ. Hey, man, glad to hear that. Yeah. At the end of the day, guys, can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink, right? I'm in Texas. That's your analogy. Deal with it. But I can give you all the information all day long. I can sit up here, and I do. I've done it for 5 years now, and I still get people who argue with me constantly. And I'm like, listen, I just, I try and respond and say, listen, you need to get your head straight here, blah, blah, blah. If they don't, I leave. Because there's nothing there. I'm not going to be able to convince you. I'm not trying to convince you. I'm telling you this is the way it is. I've been doing this for almost 30 years. If somebody's been doing this for this long and tells you the same thing, and then you see people like Peter Brandt, who also tells you the same thing, and you see all these other big traders, Mr. Bollinger out there, right? John Bollinger, telling you the same things, and you're not listening. Guess what, guys? You're just digging your own grave. You're digging your own grave. Pride is huge, especially in this world of social media today. I didn't mean to get off on this big old rant here, guys, but, again, this just showing you charts doesn't help you. It's this other stuff I'm talking about now, this stuff which makes you confront what you're not actually confronting. That's the stuff that's going to help you. That's the stuff that's most important. It's up to you to decide if you're going to really listen and really kind of evaluate what you're doing. Okay? And that's just the beginning at that point. But at least it gets you a start. Let's see here. All the high time frame on the DXY looks nice. It does? Yeah, we'll check it out here, okay? All right. Let me come back here. So here's what we're looking at. Everything else out of the way, this is the short and simple of what we're looking at. It's a bull flag, guys. It's a bull flag on weekly support, okay? We can zoom in a bit. Here's your daily. Daily, we are dropping here below that purple line I was watching. We are pretty close to being oversold on RSI. Stoke RSI has bottomed out and oversold, okay? We've dipped down just below the S1 pivot. I mean, realistically, guys, we're right here coming into the low volume node area, which, as you can see, we hit the low volume node here, which is why we got rejected before we went back up. We've been hitting it a few different times, a few different areas, while you're getting these wicks and the moves back up. Zooming in a bit more. Hank's favorite, the 12-hour. I don't have the stochastic on here, though. Let me pull that stochastic on here for Mr. Hank. And change the settings to 14, 3, and 3, Mr. Hank says. All right, 3 gets you the smoothing a bit more. And so what's Hank looking for? Hank is looking for a bullish cross again here. Now, we got one here, didn't pan out. It just got you this bit of this Darth Maul doji looking thing. Coming down here looking for one now here, right? Let me see. So yeah, so we're still kind of looking at, if you do that, you're looking at that. What'd you say there, Chris's bi-weekly soapbox? But seriously, thank you for the advice and tough lessons. Listen, guys, I've said from day one, like I said, some of you guys have been following me for almost the entire 5 years I've been doing this on YouTube, right? And so you know that I'm never the one here to blow smoke up your rear end. I'm not going to do it. There's enough fluff and BS out there going on. I'm going to talk to you honestly because that's the only way you're going to get anywhere. If somebody's out there coddling you and telling you, oh, it's going to be okay, here's your participation trophy, you're not going to get any better, guys. You're not. I'm telling you. I came from where you are to where I am today. And I'm here to tell you that you can do it too, but you have to take the tough love. You have to take the honesty, the way it is, guys. When I sit here and say this is what it is, if you are getting hurt or upset by it, then it's because it's true. Because you know in the back of your head that it's true. It's not made to call you out or to make you feel like you're less than anybody or that you can't do it. It's made so that you hit that and you go, dang it, yes, that is going on, and I need to change that. Because until you change it, you're not going to get where you want to get. It's man, it's so much of this. I go online and people, again, been doing it for 5 years here, publicly, and people always want, they just want the chart. They just want, where do I buy? Where do I sell? Where do I put the stop loss? And by the way, if I tell you where to put the stop loss, you won't leave it there. You will get emotional. You will not follow it. Because, oh my God, I can't take a loss. Because you went all in at 100 times leverage, which you don't do. If you're new to trading, you're not consistently profitable, guys. And by new to trading, I mean you are not consistently profitable. If you've been in the market for 3 years and you are not consistently profitable, you are still new. It's not meant to be a put down. It's meant to be a reality check for you. So you stop thinking you're better off than where you are so you can then learn to get where you want to be. Everything I've said this morning, you see this, everything I'm talking about are the things that you have to do to get where you want to go, guys. I can't do it for you. I can't. But you can do it if you choose to, okay? Hey, or Fibbo, you get no participation trophies. Can't even talk here this morning. Diego, what's up, buddy? Good to see you here. So let's jump on back here. Hank says being alive is your participation award. Hey, man, I like that. Yeah. The fact that you're alive, right? Data says I'm doing this 5 years. What'd you say? I still consider myself a newbie. There is so much still to learn. Yeah, and the good thing is you don't have to learn it all right up front. You learn one thing, stick with it, do it correctly until you get good at it, and then do another thing. That's the best thing about it. I didn't learn everything I know now overnight. It's been almost 30 years, guys, and I paid my dues like a mother at the beginning. And I'm sure Hank did as well. I'm sure Fibbo did as well. Fibbo's been doing this, 20 years, bud? And so, there's just realities that you have to get to actually continue moving on. Again, it's not just in trading, it's in life, anything you're trying to do in life. And it always comes down to being honest with yourself because most of us aren't. Most of us are not honest most of the time. Hank says he was trading broke 2 times. 2 times there. So, I mean, this is what it is, guys. Look at that. Fibbo started in 1998. Telling you guys, when people that have been around for a long time and have become consistently profitable are telling you something, that's when you need to listen. Leave your ego at the door. There's too much of that nonsense online. Anyway, so let's jump back in here. Okay, so here we are, right? 12-hour, of course, RSI, Stochk RSI are oversold here. I like it. I want to see a reaction off here now. Let's kind of keep moving in. 4-hour. 4-hour, we are sideways. We're finding resistance at the hourly S2 pivot, right? I think realistically, guys, let me kind of put this up here. By the way, I told Discord last night in the video update that I went long last night, and I did. I gave them the exact level. I can't remember what it was this morning. I think it was like right around this area here. And I told them to put the stop loss right below the swing low. My stop loss obviously was hit right around 1 a.m. Well, no, not 1 a.m. this morning. Whenever it broke down there. So whatever that was here, right around that 26,300 something area. When I say I put it right below, I don't mean I put it like $1 below. I always give it a little bit of room. But yeah, it was just there below. Again, the idea being that if I wasn't correct where we were here, then it could hit my next target or the further one down, right? So you guys that have been here a while, we've had that 26.3, whatever that target was. It's basically holding support right here. That 26,316 area. You can see it's holding support on the 4-hour candles. We did dip down, like I said, hit the channel support there. If it breaks down further, we can look at 25, but it has to break down further, right? Look at your 4-hour, guys. Look at the volume here on this entire move down, right? This is the highest volume we've had. Let's see here. The entire drop. And look at how small this candle is overall. The candle spread right here, the open to the close. Look at that on that big volume. That tells you there's demand there. Nice little wick on there. And then we've just been sideways. There's demand sitting right here. So I'm looking for this thing to rally up now. So, ultimately you need a breakout. Here's basically the way I do it. If I've got a channel like this, guys, and I'm down on the bottom support here, my initial target is the channel EQ, the equilibrium there. If we can get an impulsive breakout above that, that means large candle spread, large volume, breaking through that locally, right? The volume's always relative. If we can do that, then the next target becomes the channel resistance. If we can get an impulsive breakout above that channel resistance, there's little to no reason we shouldn't be looking at where the channel kind of begins up here at the swing high. The other ways that we can look at this is, okay, well, we've got this descending resistance here, this red resistance. We would probably break out above that as we get around that S1 hourly pivot, that area. So we're looking for an impulsive breakout. You don't just want it to kind of meander through it in low volume, small candles. You want to see some real like gusto. You want to see some real like we're serious about this. And you can get that. And sometimes it'll pull back and retest that support before getting up, but that's what we're looking for there. Other ways you can look at this, depending on the level of risk tolerance or the risk aversion you have. If you're a bit more risk adverse, you might be trying to wait for a breakout above the hourly pivot up here, right around 28,670 or so. Or the daily pivot a bit higher there, around 29,000, 29,100, that area. There's no correct place to enter this. Those are all the different ways that you could enter, through that 1 hour time frame, just based on, or that 4 hour time frame, just based on significant areas that you'd be looking for, right? My first thought is if you're going to get a breakout here, you should initially just be looking at this S1 pivot area, which, by the way, is going to get you this descending resistance as well. But you see all this sideways, that's where you want to hit. If you can make it through there, then it opens up higher, but until then, you could just see a rally up here, get rejected, and fall further. So again, if you're getting in and taking partials, if you're trading, right, and you want to go long on a breakout above this swing high here, well, I'd put my stop loss right below the swing low and put my initial target right up here, right around this 27,350, 27,400 kind of area. And I might take 30% or 50%. And I'll move my stop loss up to break even or just a little bit higher. And then we'll just let this thing ride. And riding up, again, breaking impulsively through here means we're probably going here, but I'm going to watch and make sure we get above the hourly pivot. If we get above here, boom, move up. And along that way, if you're getting through the EQ here and you make it up to the pivot, you might even be willing to move your stop loss up to this next kind of sideways here on the 1 hour, right? This 27,050 area, giving it enough room to pull back before pushing higher, right? And that way, if it does pull back against you, not only are you not losing money, you made your initial profit, and then you made a little bit of profit as it pulled back and hit that target, right? Hit that break even there. Well, a little bit of profit target there, right? But the important thing is when you have a good move going on, take partial profit and move your stop loss up to break even. Don't just take profit, because you can always take profit there and then it rallies on and then it drops on back through your open, right? And then you lose all that profit you made. You end up losing it, because then I'm telling you right now, if that happens, you're going to get very emotional and you're going to say, well, it's got to go back up. It's got to go back, because now in your head, you're saying, I had all this profit. I should have locked it in. And now I have to take a loss, but I don't want to take a loss. God, please, 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 or whatever you pray to, if you can just make it get back above break even, I will get out of the trade. I promise, I promise, I promise. Tell me that's not what happens. And then if it happens to actually get above it, you don't take profit, do you? You don't. You're like, oh, you feel better. You're like, okay, I'm safe now. I can let this thing, it's got to go up now higher. You can't do all that nonsense, guys. Mechanical systems, have rules, follow your rules. Don't be iffy about your rules. The more iffy you are, the more likely you are to lose money. Not just at that time, but in the long term as well. Okay? John's admitting, yep. See, I love it when you guys admit it, because I know this is what happens. See, John says this is exactly what happens. Been there, said those things. Again, guys, I'm trying to tell you, I'm not that guy who's gone off and worked at Goldman Sachs. I actually thought about it for a bit, but I never did, right? I thought, man, yeah, investment bank would be great. I grew up in the 80s. Wall Street was big and whatnot. But then, I decided no, because I didn't want to work for somebody else, right? That was my whole thing. So I've been where you've been, starting at the beginning, guys. I've gone through all this. That's why I know. I never say it to put anybody down. I always say it to let you guys know, listen, I'm not just talking out of my rear end. I have actually been there. I've experienced this. And I had to do A, B, and C to get beyond that. Which means if you want to get beyond that, you'll probably have to do A, B, C as well. Does that make sense? Fibbo says, if we hit 48K by the end of June, you have to play a song for us on one of the bad boys behind you. We'll see, man. We'll see. This isn't a guitar show, right? They look nice, though, don't they? Crypto Chef? Yeah, man. It's tough, man. It's tough, right? He says, I'm currently underwater just hoping for break even. And that's a bad position to be in. That's a really bad position to be in, because when you're in that position, your emotions are what are in charge at that point. And your emotions are going to screw you over one way or the other in the markets, guys. It's a tough place to be. I appreciate you stepping up and saying it, man. I mean, it takes a lot, I know, to admit it, right? Because it's tough just admitting to ourselves that we let ourselves get in that position. It's really tough to get up in front of social media and say, yeah, listen, I'm there right now. But, those of you who are also, I know a lot of you out there are in that same position right now, and you're just, you don't want to admit it, right? It's tough to admit. But, understand, as you saw there, a couple people already saying that they've gone through the same thing. They're going through the same thing. It's not just me, right? Hank says it's a lot less stressful at no or very low leverage. I think even that takes time. I think if you're still a new trader, you're not consistently profitable, then anytime you're at a negative, anytime you're below your entry, it's tough. Even if it's in the first 3 minutes of your trade. It's tough. It's the mindset thing, right? I think sometimes, Hank, and Fibbo, I think sometimes we've been doing this for so long that we do it and we kind of forget just how emotional things are at the beginning. And that's tough, that's tough as well, when we're talking to other people, because we go, come on, man, really? But if we stop and think about it, and maybe we can kind of remember those things, we're like, wow, yeah, those were tough times. Those were tough times, right? But as Hank says, though, it does become a lot less stressful, when you have little or no leverage. And as I'm saying here, especially if you've been doing it for a while. Hank says he must be dead inside. Let me see here. What'd you say, Hank? Hank says, if you weren't the head of TA where I am, I would be gone too. Yeah. So he's talking about it at his day job. Okay, so for those of you that didn't know, Fibbo actually has he's the head of technical analysis for a company. So yeah, I mean, so that's what he does. Unlike most of the influencers that you follow on here that have no real background in it, right? I guess you could probably even say that about me. No professional real background, right? Thankfully, I've learned to make mine profitable, but a bit more there. What else says? Pete says, I'm on my 4th or 5th time of I'm never doing that again. You're right in line with us, man. Everybody goes through it, man. Everybody goes through it. Like I said, I was doing that for, first almost 5 years, right? 95 until 99 or so. So I don't even know how many times I was on I'm never doing that again, honestly. I don't know. I think by now I finally made back all the money I lost during those years. No, I'm kidding. But seriously, it was a lot. It was a tough road at first. But at some point, either you give up or you actually get to the point that I was at where you say, all right, enough is enough. I've really actually got to do these things. And because at that point, you'll know when you actually hit that point because you really listen. You really, I mean, it's not just words come in and words go out into your ear. You actually really listen to what people are saying. And so, yeah. Martin, let me see. I get Martin, you guys are talking too quick here. Hank says, I used to train traders at banks. Martin says, I was infected by the whole disease for a very long time. Yeah. This idea that it's always going to go up, right? But here's the thing, guys. And I love Bitcoin. Don't get me wrong. I have money in it, obviously. I trade it. But I'm going to be honest with you. It's only been around a short time. And it may or may not continue to be a thing worth collecting, investing, or a thing worth trading. There could always be that thing that happens. It doesn't have a long track record. And people that are really into it and they're hoping that it's going to be their life, the saving point of their life, take a lot of offense when I say this, right? They get really hurt. They get really offended. And I'm not trying to say that I don't believe it will. I hope it will. But the reality of the situation is it may not. So, my big thing is to make as much money as possible trading it while I can still trade it. If it continues to go up, then, hey, those Bitcoins become a lot more, worth a lot more, right? But if it doesn't, then I've made good money while I've been in the market. And I'll just continue on. Those of you that know me, I love to trade Forex, right? That's my favorite thing to trade. That and the S&P E-minis. I like to trade those as well. But if you ask me, as a new trader, what should you be trading? Honestly, I would say for most people, the S&P Mini or the S&P Micro would probably be the place what you should be trading it first. It's got liquidity. It's got time behind it. You can make a lot of money in little moves, things like that, right? Beyond that, FX is a great one. But FX, every once in a while, we can get those big moves. Again, Bank of England back in the mid-'90s there, early 90s, George Soros, right? What do we have there in 2015? Oh, gosh. I can't even think of the country right now where they had the big drop in that. God. But anyway, it's there. I'll be honest with you guys. Crypto is ease of entry for most people around the world. But the volatility, when you add the volatility to being a new trader and all that emotion you have to deal with at first and not knowing what you're doing anyway, it can be tough. It can be really, really tough because you've got all these things tempting you to go all this leverage and your emotions are driving you going, yeah, do it. You end up no better off for it. Crypto's tough to start with, guys. It's not that it's not that it's a different market that it works any differently. It's the same as any other market. Anybody that tells you TA doesn't work on a specific market or on a specific coin or something, they're just people that don't know. Stop following those people. Technical analysis works because people are people. Human beings are the same across the world. The way our temperament works is generally the same. Doesn't mean we're exactly the same people, but in general, we're the same. And that's why TA works. That's why I sit here and teach the same things that have been taught for 100 years. And people always ask me, well, aren't you scared that you're going to teach other people and then they aren't going to know? Or, you'll teach other people and then they'll know and then it won't work anymore? Hell no. Because every time the market booms, it's a new set of traders and they're doing the same thing new sets of traders have done every time for 100 years. Nothing's going to change, guys. No matter how much I get out here, talk to them blue in the face, it's not going to change. Okay? Depeche Mode or TA dudes, people are people. Hank says that crypto has all these people who serve as bait for everyone who made it. 10,000 lost all their money. Yeah, I mean, but it's not just crypto though. Really, that's any market because you still do the same things. I think it's just if I look at it because I've been in crypto since January 2017, so we're going on 6 years now. I think when you look at that, I think crypto I think people lose their money maybe quicker than other markets. Maybe in general, maybe. Just because of the volatility, because the volatility is so much more usually than the other markets. So, yeah. I know you don't think everybody can be successful, Hank, but you're wrong. I'll be honest. I've talked to enough, thousands of traders over the years, and the only thing that keeps them from being successful is they're doing what they need to do. Again, it's that whole thing in your head where you have to actually get to that point that you say, okay, enough's enough. And you have to get to that point. People will say it all the time, but they don't do it. They don't follow through. Be like, where's your trading journal? Well, I don't feel like doing a trading journal. You're not doing what you need to do. Where's your risk management? Well, I thought on this one I would be okay. Again, you're not doing what you need to do, period. It's not that people can't. You don't have to be highly intelligent to be successful at trading. But you have to be realistic and you have to be honest with yourself. And most people refuse to do that. It's not that they can't. They refuse to do that. It's the same way with any other thing in life. Whether you want to be successful in business, at your career, in a relationship, playing a musical instrument, playing a sport, whatever. It's the same mindset issue. It's just, you don't have to have any specific talent to be a trader. You don't have to have any 180 IQ to be a trader, to be a successful trader. But it's all you. Do you do the things that you need to do? And most of us don't. Most of us just say we're going to, and then we don't. So, yeah. Let me see here. Hey, guys, why no pump? Because you're not buying LXT. Let's get out there, man. Let me see here. So, again, if we're looking here, I mean, if I look here, the 1 hour Stoke RSI is almost overbought. RSI has just jumped out of oversold. It's sitting above the SMA there. Let's jump on down to the shorter time frame. Let's see if we can see anything here. Guys, this has really turned into a wake up, trader session here. I hope you're getting something out of it. I hate stuff like this. It's not a clean and easy count. If I were to look at this, immediately I'd probably go 1, 2, 3, 4 is a flat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe 5. Maybe we got 5 there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, B, C. Well, no, here it is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, B, C. We'd have to be careful because the pullback is already down here at 70.5. I mean, I guess potentially we could have an ABC as a W and then an X, and maybe there's an ABC in that lower one. I like the pin bar, and it's right here at support. You can see that you've got this pin bar on the 15-minute right there, right? So this swing low was 26,249, 26,250, $1 above it. But you're going to need some follow-up through. Honestly, with the fact that we still got the pressure coming down, I want to see at least a breakout above this. If I can see one above of this swing high up here at the S1 pivot on the 15-minute, that's right around 26,611. If I could see that, I would look for a target. Not quite at the 15-minute pivot. See this sideways right here? You see all this kind of stuff right here? That's what I'd target. Now, if I can get impulsive breakout above that, then we can look up higher. But locally here, until we're getting something really showing us that that price wants to go higher, we have to be careful. It could still go lower. We still have the potential, $25,000 target area. But we want to watch on these smaller time frames. Are we getting reactions, and what type of reactions are we getting? And then we want to see some follow through, right? But again, for me, what is this? This is kind of like that 26,870 to 27,040 kind of area. So what is that, like $170 range? That's probably where I would look if we were to get a breakout above that swing high. My thought, if we were to head up from here pretty soon, my thought would be we get 5 waves up to that pivot and pull back and then break out. Let me see here. If this was, I don't know, that'll get it. See, it gets us a little bit higher there, just above that resistance there. If this were to hold as the swing low, I mean, it could still go lower, obviously. But, again, right here, I'm just interested in, are we breaking through the levels convincingly, impulsively? That gives us our next target up. And then as we get higher up there, we can zoom out to the larger time frames and go, okay, well, what's actually going on here now? We've cleared this, 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 kind of working our way up, right? Investing bros, what's up, guys? That black and white trading view is so calming. Yeah. Another thing I teach traders all the time, guys, red and green on your candles are emotional colors, and they will generally have you acting emotionally. And so one of the ways you can help yourself combat that is to just give yourself black and white candles here. Make your volume black. If you can do that, that takes at least that emotional tinge of the color off there. You don't feel like, freaked out that the price is dropping, or maybe, you still might a bit, but it's not like, oh, it's dropping and it's this bright red in your face kind of color. So yeah, I've been doing this for a very long time with those colors. It works, right? Every once in a while, I'll try to go to a darker background and color thing, and that usually lasts about a week, if that. But yeah, so just another tip there, guys. If you're still finding yourself emotional when you're looking at the charts, that's one thing you can do that can help you out, and it's simple and easy to do on that. Christopher H, what's up, man? Oh, look at this, more honesty, man. I love this. You guys are great. He says, I was making money following the rules of trading lately and got liquidated on my Pepe trade because I got careless again. Yeah. By the way, guys, when you do figure these things out, it's not like all of a sudden you're just going to be fine for the rest of your life doing it. These are things you have to constantly keep top of mind. It's easy, even if you've been doing it for 10 or 20 years, it's still sometimes easy to get emotional. It's just if you're practicing, handling that emotion, it's not as difficult to not be emotional. It's the setup can still be there. We're human beings. Our emotions are big on they're what make us human beings. But yeah, don't think that magically all of a sudden, if you're doing it right for 10 years, that you don't ever have to worry about emotions and all that kind of stuff. You'll forget, or you'll choose not to do it. Really is what really happens. You'll get caught up in the trade. You'll be seeing even bigger, larger profits than what you do now because you have a lot more money over 10 years, right? But you'll still have to deal with it. It won't be as difficult to deal with as it is when you're first new. I don't ever want to say it'll be easy. It's not ever easy to deal with emotions, guys. Just think about the last relationship you had. If you're no longer in that, right? Think about the breakup. Most people don't have a very good breakup. It's all very emotional on both sides. But trading is the same way. There's a lot of emotion in it, especially when it's fear or greed, right? So just understand that you can get to that point where you can make that decision. You can change the things that you're doing, but it doesn't mean, okay, now I don't ever have to worry about it again. You always have to pay attention to it. Fiboswani said you have a weird greenish background that helps your old eyes. There's a huge amount of freedom, Fibbo says here. derived from not fighting the market. Yeah, exactly. Or fighting emotion. Yeah. I think a lot of it is also for newer traders, understanding trend direction is a difficult thing. Um, and that's something I've spent a lot more time on with traders, is help them understand that. But it's just this, because when I first came in, it was always like, well, you say what's a swing high and a swing low, and what's the real swing high and swing low? What am I looking at? Is swing low, swing high, or I guess it's over here, right? Swing low, swing high. Is this a downtrend? Is this an uptrend? Wait, are these the swing lows and swing highs? For traders who are new, that's often a little bit difficult thing. I had a lot of trouble with that when I first started. But so again, looking for a reaction down here, looking to see if we can get this rally on up and break through these levels and kind of make our way up. You don't have to go all in 100%, especially not 100% of your capital with leverage at your entry. Just like we were talking about taking profits partially, you can add to your entries. You can compound those entries as well. But you can't just throw it, in either one of those things. You don't just willy-nilly throw it wherever. You got to make sure that these are intelligent areas to be doing that, right? Well, let's go ahead and see some other charts here, guys. Let me see here. We've got that. I've got a better chart here I was going to look at. There we go. Dollar futures here. So we've got this impulsive breakout above this descending resistance that may be compelling after some sideways here, right? This is the 12-hour. We can jump over here to the daily. Daily is just now breaking into overbought. Now, if I look at this, I think it's possible that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm also looking at the possibility that maybe we've got this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll get a 5, which will get us, well, actually at this point now, to get us a little bit further down if we got that. Right here around 99.17. And just because we say that, that's just where we would normally look for that wave 5 target if it were to reverse right here, if this was a wave 4. But again, if this is a wave 4 here, right, again, based on the height of the channel, I've just kind of pulled that kind of cruddy there. But anyway, we're looking down here at that 97.68 level. So we're going to kind of see what goes on here at the moment. Big picture, if we don't get rejected right around this R1 pivot where we have this, you can see this kind of resistance here, or support, and kind of resistance right here in this range here. If we don't see a rejection out of this and back down, my next target area is the weekly pivot up there around 104.22. If we break out above that, then I'm looking closer to this wave 4 up here at around 105.8. That's the big picture there. Now, the other possibility, especially with this being lower here, is maybe this is 1, 2 here, right? So as you can see, if you're getting near the this kind of support area here, we'll kind of make it right up there under the candles, right? Support resistance right there. That's the 50% retracement right around 103.145. So we want to see if we get, again, a reaction there, again, especially because your daily Stochh RSI is overbought now. It has room, but it's still overbought. RSI itself is almost getting into overbought. So, again, you want to watch and give it a little room, but man, you do have sideways here. Could be like a ABC, and getting 5 up. So it could be a flat here. Is what it's potentially at, right? Because this pulls down almost 90% or over 90% of wave A here. So again, it would be the idea to get maybe like an A and then an ABC down for a B, and then 1, 2, work on 3, 4, and 5 for C here. And then we'd be looking toward those lower targets. But, we're sitting just above the 100, guys. 100 is a very psychological level. It's a zeros number. It's a tens number, round number, all those things. So, we could also potentially be seeing, I've talked about this before, maybe like an Adam and Eve double bottom. But that is not even confirmed until we get above this swing high between them, right at 105.870. And so if we did do that, then we could look at potentially a rally based on the height there, pattern target there of about 111, which all that does is kind of get you right into all this overlap, right? You know, this right here, kind of this resistance level right here before we got to that high up there. So it's a possibility. Now, when I say this, we're getting this strong move out above this resistance. As far as channels go, I'm not a very this channel is not what I would normally be excited about, because what I expect to see in any pattern, guys, listen up here. If you don't know this, in any pattern, and in a channel is a pattern, what you're looking for are strong moves between resistance and support. Okay? The stronger this, the more impulsive this movement between resistance and support, the more likely that pattern is what you think it is and it's working out, okay? When you see price hugging support or hugging resistance, usually you don't get the same expectation that you would have had. Like normally with the channel here, you see the breakout, you go, oh my God, we're going to go higher, right? But we're hugging the top, hugging the bottom, hugging the top again. There's no impulsive movement back and forth. And so again, we see the breakout. It looks good and whatnot, but, again, if we're going to continue rallying up through this kind of red area, I would expect this area to continue to hold here. Resistance, resistance, support, resistance, 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 all in that same area. That high volume node, the big high volume node, is just below that weekly pivot. Right now, we've popped right up. I wouldn't be surprised to see a rejection here. Why? Because all we've done is pop up into the low volume node. The market is not interested in there. There's not a lot of liquidity. So either we get rejected and it drops down, or we pop up through it into the high volume node area. But usually your foray into the low volume node gets you rejected, because you're just not going to, if you're a big player buying, right? You don't want to continue buying where there's no liquidity, because you're just going to chase price right up through it. And so you're going to have to pay, ultimately higher prices. You don't want to do that, right? So just some things thinking about there. Fibbo, have a great weekend, man. Congratulations to your daughter, buddy. Let's see here. Chris, what's up, man? He says the daily, the 3-day, and the weekly all look bullish with divergence. It would assume at least to 103.5 yearly level. Let me see here. 103.5. That would get you where? Yeah, you're getting almost right to the same kind of area I'm looking at here. Yeah. Also could be forming a base of an Adam and Eve. Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah, exactly. But let me see here. Daily. Let's see here. Where are you looking for bullish divergence? I don't see a bullish divergence on the daily. Even here, even if you were trying to say here, the problem is this swing low on price doesn't align with the swing low on the oscillator. Same thing with this swing low. It doesn't align with the swing low on the oscillator. And I know a lot of times traders will get in there and go, oh, well, that doesn't matter. Look, you got it. It does. It really does. And often what we see is when they don't align on one or both of them, if it's like the next candle over, a lot of times it's just a bounce. And then, if it's up, right, it'll be just a bounce and it'll head down lower. If you get the same thing at the top, it'd usually be, just like a dead cat rally and get rejected. But most of the time, that's what happens if you don't have the alignment on those lows with that. You said 3-day. Again, 3-day over here. Again, the swing low is actually over here. The price low is over here. You see that? So when you look at that, between that swing low there, price low there, that resulted in this rally here. But now this is the swing low. And then we come over here and go, okay, well, let me see. Is it that one? Yeah. So now we can look here and go, okay, well, that one along the way, but it's still not the swing low. It's an interior swing low, interior on this rally. So I'd be really cautious looking at that. This swing low is this one. It looks like this one lines up. This one over here. Oh, wait, no, it doesn't. Wait. Yeah, it does. There we go. But this one right here, I'm cautious about because it's the swing low in price, but it's not the swing low in the oscillator. See what I'm saying? So these are things we definitely have to watch out. 3 days started when? Thursday? So this will go into Monday. So we'll see how Monday comes out. We could lose all this back on Monday and close back down below this where it's just a wick out, right? So we want to see that. Let me see here. You said the weekly as well. Weekly, one more time. Let's check this one here. Yeah, see again, price low is here. Oscillator low is the previous candle there. So you're not getting alignment with the low in price with the low in the oscillator. Over here, again, the low in price is not the low in the oscillator. This is the low in price, which is a bit higher. Now that said, locally here, you've got lower lows and you've got higher lows here. Now, you say, okay, well, that's bearish hidden bullish divergence. Well, the problem with that and really looking at it that way is hidden bullish divergence is a continuation of the bullish trend. So what bullish trend are we trying to continue? I mean, you would have to assume it's this right here, right? Okay. Well, in that case, if it's only this part right here that you're getting that hidden bullish divergence on, I would be cautious about how far you think that would go. Again, we're looking local, right? But, again, these are a lot of things that traders often don't pay attention to. They're just very blindly, oh, look, it kind of looks like that, so we're going to go with it. And I'm not saying putting you down or anything, man, not at all. Not calling you out or anything. I'm just saying in general, this is the same thing that traders do a lot, and that's why they often lose money on these things. You hear people all the time talking about divergences don't work, and it's not that they don't work. It's just that most traders don't actually understand how to use them properly. They're not specific about things. Again, the more when you're trading, the more iffiness you give to something, the more the more you can say, okay, yeah, it's that, but at the same time, the more likely it's not to play out the way you think it's going to. Okay. But yeah, I mean, so right now, we're kind of looking, even here locally, again, let me see, let me get back to where I was and another one here. So I had this 102,666 kind of general target. It's basically this wave 4 area right here. That I was looking for because I'm looking at potentially, let me get this out of the way here. So look at this is a tough count coming out of the top here. Well, actually out of the top up here. This is really kind of a pain in the butt. But I think what we have is a 1, 2, and then a 1, and we're working on a 2 here. 2 is a flat, right? So that would have me then ABC up, ABC down, and then I've got ABC here. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe to get up there, something like that. This is not a lot of fun to count. It's yeah. I mean, you could maybe even look. I don't know. Let me see here. If we say this is the end of A, maybe. I mean, you've almost got the 90 down there. Actually, now I'm looking at this. This might be A up, and then A, B, C, D, E is a triangle. And then 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gives you 3, 4, and we get a 5 up here. See what happens when I talk it out with you guys? All right. So let me go ahead and change this out here. I'm going to change this out a bit real quick here, since this is the chart I'm using with our Discord members. So this would be A, and then we'd have a triangle forming here. A, B, C, D. Oh, that's clean. Yeah, that's a lot cleaner. They got a lot of 3s in there. Dang it. There we go. So yeah, now that I'm looking at this, here while I'm talking to you guys, I think this is probably what's going on. A triangle here. And so then this needs to actually go to 101.041. And so that's our point. If we break down through that, that should indicate that the next leg down is starting. In this case, it'd be wave 3 heading down there. And again, if we look through here, it looks like 1, 2, 1, 2, could be 3, 4, 5. Use this to 3, 4, and then oil, ABC, and then ABC, and then maybe ABC. Kind of get an ending diagonal work out, but this just becomes A, B, and C here. We'll look if we can get a rejection here. If we can get impulsive breakdown below the daily pivot, which will last to the end of the month at 101.839 kind of area. If we get impulsive, that'll suggest that wave 2 is likely complete, but we need to break down through this wave B triangle support at 101.041 to say, okay, added confidence there. Wave parentheses 3 is likely in progress, headed lower there. So yeah. Let me see here. Let me pull up those charts that I've got, guys, from Wednesday with Scott on our show there. So I was looking, here's Turbo. I was looking at this, looked at a potential that we could get a rally up, said we had to kind of get through this resistance. We obviously didn't do it, so it fell further. Congrats to those of you paying attention. Potential bullish. Looks like we've got a bullish SFP printing right down here. We got a bullish SFP. Usually we get a rally back up into toward the top of the range here. So my initial target would be kind of this this area right here, which is right around 11,428. If we can break out through that, then we'll probably break out here, and then we really start looking good for higher up. Yeah, we maybe get an ABC out of this. That retracement, obviously huge retracement. This is the 4-hour, by the way, here, guys. But yeah, I would look for, we got the breakout here, the retest on the swing low, printed a wick, potential bullish SFP. Looking for a rally up, initial target right up there, 11,428. We can get breakout above this range again. We still need to get above the hourly pivot, but I think we kind of do, even if we just hit their pullback and then do it. I think we do, which then should take us to a new high overall. That's for Turbo. If you can find that, you can get on Big Get, it looks like. I know it wasn't a lot of places. ARB real quick here. Again, we had the resistance here. Talked about we needed to break through it. We're still waiting. We pulled back to the S1 on the daily. Nice. It looks like we're printing a spring on this range here. Spring and then a test. Let's see here. Spring volume is here. Test volume is lower. That's what we want to see. Spring volume is lower than what our selling climax would be over here. So every time we're touching these lows in here, we're getting lesser and lesser volume, it looks like, which is good. It's what we want to see. It looks like, yeah, I would look for a breakout. If we can get a breakout above this, initially you're going to have a target of this EQ, which is right around 1.34 to the daily pivot, which is 1.43. That'd be the initial target. If we can break out through that, I think we take out the high and we head on up. I'd be looking at least at the R3 pivot, about 2.48. This target was meant to be based on the height of this swing low to swing high here. But I'll just do it this way. Just grab here, grab there. 200% up here, 2.6367. Again, right past that R3 pivot where we're looking. So, yeah, that's what I would look for on that. The fund for the KuCoin gamblers is CGPT USDT. Is that GPT just by name, just to get people's attention? Or is that actually like GPT? Does it have anything to do with real artificial intelligence or not? So I can change this color here. Old charts, man. Where's my thing here? There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Let's do this. Oh, man. I got to think about what I'm doing here. There we go. And then that you said CGPT. I've never even heard of this. USDT. Let's see here. What are we looking at? Ew, it's a lot of sideways. How long has this thing been around? It's one of these. It launches and then just goes sideways for a bit. It looks like we got, if we look here, what's this swing low? 0.9, swing low over here, 0.901, 0.90001, what's this one? 0.9, so this is the low, this is the swing low. It's like all the numbers, except it's a, this one over here was a 1 on the last, this one's a 0. So here's the swing low. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, I've got 5 up. I've got a pullback of right around 78.6. S1 hourly pivot support. I can go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, gives us 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So ABC, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 maybe. I mean, so it looks like we've got potentially an ABC here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you guys got the count here real quick. And then, of course, no guarantees as always, guys. I'm doing this real quick here, but gives you an idea if you want to look at something else potentially. Let's see, we got an ABC in here. Keep doing that too quick. Get stuck on the one just around it. I don't like all this nonsense in here. I mean, I guess it could be 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gives us 3, 4. I mean, it looks like an ABC. We're looking for a bit higher here, but I think we get a bit higher and then we pull back and then we break out. We're looking for a breakout above 0.194753 here at wave B to signal that we're heading up. So you want to kind of get above that. That'll add confidence to the count. I don't like drawing channels from the bottom. Try and grab it again. Let's see here. I mean, the EQ is kind of doing an okay job of holding it there. Can we pull it off the top, though? Okay, we can get that. Yeah, so I mean, I look for an impulsive breakout above that, but I think really, I think you kind of get this move up into this area right here at the wave B resistance, the hourly pivot resistance. I think you kind of get 5 waves up there and you pull back, probably retest this resistance as support, and then you look for the breakout there. But based on what we're looking at here, if this holds, this would give us a minimum expected wave 3 target. Up here at around 0.47078. So, proper risk management. Eventually get you up there around a 14R return on that. It won't happen overnight, guys. It might take a little bit longer than what it did the first time there to go on, okay? Um, so, yeah. Don't mind taking a look at copper. I think I've got a copper chart here. Copper futures. Let me see here. Let's get everything else out of the way. Oh, this is copper against gold right here, which is kind of interesting. Might be printing a what you call it, bullish SFP down here. It depends on how we close. We'd like to see it close a lot bigger wick would be great. But that's going to close in a few hours today. Copper itself. Are you looking at copper because you're interested on the overall health of the economy, Dr. Copper? Hank's got his own views on that. But doesn't Hank always have his own views? I think Hank just likes to argue with people. All right, so what do I like? I mean, if I look at this first right here, we've got, again, a bear flag here. Get that up there a little bit. This is the weekly. It looks like we're getting a throw under. We're printing a throw under support. You can see that Stoke RSI here is reset down into oversold. Let me pull up, let me do this. Let me get all my indicators up here. I usually have them. Yeah, I don't play GP. Guys, by the way, all these I'm showing you here, other than Bitcoin, those coins, I'm not trading them. I'm not here to dump my bags on you. Though somebody recently accused me of dumping, of trying to dump my Bitcoin bags on my followers. Yeah, some people. It's not a whole lot of thought, guys. Anyway. Let me see here. You're planning to buy some metals at the company in the near future, and copper is a leading indicator. Okay, yeah. So, I mean, if I'm looking here, I like the bull flag here. I like that the weekly is trying to close above it, so we could actually be getting a what do you call it? Bull throw under, which if we did, we should expect a pretty quick move up, on the weekly time frame, up through this resistance and back up at least to the top up here, at least around to a $4.11, which gets you right around this, just beyond this high volume node, kind of hits that low volume node. Bigger picture. And I think, by the way, if you do this, then you get an impulsive breakout above this, again, above the weekly pivot, above the descending channel resistance. I mean, you still have to watch to make sure you clear 4.355, but I think if you do this, you're going to head up here to around 4.62, 4.7, somewhere right around there, before potentially pulling back again. So I could see, if we can get a reversal, I could see something like this kind of thing happening, right? Let me zoom in a little bit here. Yeah, daily. What's going on with daily here? So we got some capitulation here. We got big volume coming in, big spike of volume, large candle spread, close below. Where are we at? We're actually finding support right here, guys. Look at that right there. I think it's a pretty good support level. That's significant right in this this August 22 area, right before, it was the support area right here for June 22. Came support here again, resistance, pops out, checks it as support, pops out, comes back down. Man, if we can get a nice bullish, and we're right around the S1 pivot on the daily, which that's going to change next week. Oh wait, no, that's daily. That's daily. So yeah, I could potentially see this catching a bid and catching back up. If you're playing really short term on the futures here, guys, if we can get a breakout above this S1 pivot, initially I'd probably be looking at 3.84. Just for like a short term play. If you guys are just looking to do some futures for short term play, that's what I would look for initially. If we can break out then above that and this, I think things look good. Does this become 1, 2, 3, 4? I wouldn't worry about the count at the moment. If we're coming off the bottom, I mean, you had this bit of deviation out here in January, which has resolved itself back in. I mean, so I guess if it's going to fall further, we can look here around the 70.5 retracement of, let's do it off the whole thing. It's about the 61.8 retracement off this whole rally up at that ascending support, the S2 daily pivot. If we're going to break down, I'd like to see that hold and then the move back up. But if we can move up from here, I think things look good on that. So, yeah, look at that. Let me see here. See, there's your breakdown right there, your retest of support, and then the breakdown there. I mean, if I was to draw a Chuva shop fork on it, it would look like this right here. And so we'd just be looking for price to remain above this resistance. But yeah, I think we need to see, does it resolve higher from here? If we can get through this 3.92, 93 kind of area, maybe even up here 9.5, 6, 9, whatever. This area right here, let me just draw it in there, damn it. We can get through kind of this area right here. I think if we can do that impulsively, I think we're up. I think, we'll have an initial target of this high volume node right up here at around $4.30, but I think we head on up here toward these higher all-time high area is what I'd look for. Let me see here. Kava USDT. Okay, I can do that here real quick, and that'll have to be my last one since it's 12:30. I'll just add one here. Oh, I went with the dark one again. Oh, come on. There we go. All right. Kava USDT. One hour looks pretty nice. It's a nice move from the lows here from the beginning of this week on Monday. Let's zoom out a bit. I mean, if I look at this, my first thought is A, B, C here. So like a flat correction. And I love this long-legged doji at the S1 pivot. I like the volume, that substantial spike of volume at it. So without even really counting into it, I think I'm just going to go ahead and say this is probably, you got 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I think it's probably a 1, 2 right here. And just a flat correction for ABC here for wave 2. Expanded flat. Kind of the same thing I'm looking at on Bitcoin at the moment, right? If this is correct, we need a breakout above wave B. It's always wave B if it's an ABC, or wave X if it's a WXY, to confirm it, because it means you can't break down any further in wave C here. That gives us initial target up here at 1.694. It could overextend. It can always overextend, guys. These are just general targets that we normally look at. Wave 5 would be 1.936. That's an interesting place. Look at that. Good resistance right there. Previously over here as well. So yeah, if I'm looking at that, that's my first thought. What do I want to see locally? We are above the daily pivot. So I want to see us, if we can stay above the daily pivot, even more confident toward breakout above wave B here. Let me see here. Oh, look at the weekly. Gosh, man, I think Kava might be something you guys might want to be interested in for a little bit longer term here. Look at this huge bullish engulfing candle off the lows coming right up into previous resistance here. You're getting a bullish cross after almost dipping into oversold. You got this big move up, bullish cross trying to lock in on that Stochc RSI. Again, you've got the volume coming in with it off the lows. Man, that's what you want to see. On the weekly, I mean, geez. I think ultimately, I mean, we're going to get some back and forth along the way, but I think ultimately you should be targeting this kind of $2.34 area. But, man, it looks good. If you get a pulse of breakout above that, there's no reason why you probably shouldn't be looking up here toward this swing high at $9.22 or so. Again, gets you right around that wave 3 pivot. But yeah, man, that weekly looks sharp. You can see our wave, we're going to suggest to get 5 waves just prior, right? So this makes sense. Now, wave 3 or wave 5 could overextend, so we could go higher. But if we don't, if we just get that, by the way, notice the tweezer bottoms, almost a bullish engulfing candle of this other large candle. Man, if you were watching this was your reason to go long right there. Let's see here. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, look at that low volume node, 50% area there. Yeah, and that would give us 5 waves up to the R1, which is what we generally look for. And then we look for a pullback to the pivot. So, I mean, looking at this, getting way ahead of myself here, I would, assume something like this. Then kind of continuing up there, right? And so basically, this pullback should be around 50% to the daily pivot or the weekly pivot there. Yep, see? So you'll get a, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gives us 1, 2, 3. Well, in here it'd be 3, 4, and 5. Potentially something like this. Yeah, I mean, I think it looks good. And now it may pull back soon, locally, but I think overall the structure looks good for some further upside. 2, 3, 4, 5. This could just be a flat playing out and come on back here and then head up. But I think if you're looking at that bigger picture, I think there's a lot of, I mean, it looks pretty good so far. Again, guys, we still need to get out above wave B up here, but we did break out impulsively above this, and there's a lot to be said for that. This descending resistance we've had here since wave B, almost a month now. Impulsive breakout. We have a large candle spread, large spike of volume, and of course that takes us through that daily pivot as well. So yeah. That's how I look at that. Anyway, I got to get out of here, guys. Oh man, I'm over. I really appreciate you guys joining in with me. I'm not going to apologize for being a lot of trader talk at the beginning. Guys, that's what we do. Because you're going to get more listening to that than you are going to be off me talking about targets on charts. Now, a lot of you heard that. And you probably went, well, I ain't taking around with this fool. That's on you. That's on you. Do what you need to do. But if you're serious about trading, pay attention to those other things I'm talking about. That's going to make the difference, not the charts I show you. Okay? Anyway, I hope you guys have an amazing weekend, I guess it is, right? Follow me on Twitter, TX West Capital. Hit the like button, hit subscribe, do all those fun things, guys. I'd love to have you following along more. We're going to have shorter videos coming out and shorts coming out a lot more. We're kind of implementing that. Like I said, this whole business thing, right? We're leveraging things up, right? So even if you're not into or you don't have the time for these very long videos, make sure that you're subscribed because those shorter videos are coming out, right? 5 to 10 minute videos, as well as the those 1 minute shorts, less than 1 minute shorts. We'll be doing those as well. I will also be announcing when we have that master course sale coming on and the bundle sale coming on here this weekend. I'm going to can't even talk. I'm going to announce that. Follow me at TX West Capital there on Twitter, Texas West Capital, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, all that fun stuff. And then, like I said, take advantage of the special we got here. This Elite, use the code ELITECDMM at texaswest.capital. And man, oh man, you can at least, even if you just did it for a month, guys, normally we charge $199 a month. But you're going to get one of these if there's any left right now. I don't even know if there's any left, but you'll get it for $50 for at least the month, right? and you can get on there. And if anything, you can put your trading, your basics of your trading, you can at least get that down. So then you can expand from there instead of, wondering if what you have is really correct as far as what you're doing with all the free information online. There's so many lies out there and half truths, guys. Don't get caught up in it. All right. Let me see here. Iskla, is that what the name is there? You have a great day as well. Oh, it's Data. Oh, geez. Beer, you have a great weekend as well. Diego, Hank, Crypto Chef. I appreciate all you guys joining in, talking a bit, telling me how you're doing, stuff like that. We'll be back on Tuesday, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. Be there or be square. And man, oh man, I think that just about does it, right, guys? All right. If you're in Discord, I'll see you guys over there in a bit. If you're in the mentor program, I'll see you guys there in, what is it, about 50 minutes from now. So make sure you guys are there. As always, if you can't attend, of course, the archive will be up. I'll try to get it out today, but usually ends up being the weekend or so before I can do that. All right, guys. Y'all take care, and we will see y'all, I guess Tuesday, right? Bye, everybody.